Welcome to the Anxiety Slayer series. Our mission is to assist you with creating more peace and tranquility in your life through anxiety release exercises and supportive tools created to slay your anxiety. Today's Anxiety Slayer podcast is brought to you by the Anxiety Slayer Academy. We've been offering a free podcast for almost 8 years to help anyone suffering with anxiety find relief. Now we're helping you go deeper by providing step-by-step support on how you can get the best experience from our favorite tools and techniques for overcoming anxiety. Learn more at anxietyslayer.teachable.com. Welcome back to Anxiety Slayer. I'm Shan Vanderleek, here today with my wonderful friend and business partner, Ananga Sivir. And we come together weekly on Skype to share Anxiety Slayer sessions with you, answer your questions from our inbox and Facebook page, and we absolutely enjoy sharing a powerful collection of techniques to reduce anxiety. Today we're answering the question, why does anxiety make me feel so sick? Welcome back, Ananga.
Hi, Shan.
So lovely to be with you again for another episode of Anxiety Slayer. And I think this topic is an important one that I'm actually surprised we haven't covered before. Let's talk about why anxiety makes us feel so sick.
I think one of the real challenges with anxiety is that when we seek professional help because we're feeling so ill and so awful, and there's a definite array of physical symptoms in the body, anxiety often gets dealt with as something in our head, a mental problem, but anxiety has a very definite effect on our physiology. And I remember myself when I was suffering from anxiety, stomach upsets and sickness was one real big symptom for me. That was a big thing that I was living with daily. So when we're stressed, our body secretes different stress hormones and we switch out from what's known as the rest and digest state, the state where we're relaxed and our digestive system works fully and effectively. When we're stressed and when we're really suffering from anxiety, we flip out into the opposite state, the fight or flight state. And that shuts down our digestive system. And it's very natural to have an unsettled stomach due to apprehension, traveling, or a big event coming up. These short-term events pass very quickly, and our system soon settles back down into normal functioning. But when we're experiencing frequent anxiety, it can really upset our digestion, making us feel nauseous. And that's because of these hormones that we're generating when we're stressed and anxious, having such a strong impact on our body.
And that's when you might have the experience of shaking or sometimes feeling confused or lightheaded. And in extreme cases, you might feel like you might pass out. These are all very real things that happen because of these hormones.
Yeah, so it really doesn't help when we're suffering that much to be told it's all in our mind, it's all in our head, because there's a definite physical effect going on in our body. I know of several people that have experienced excruciating stomach cramps due to anxiety.
Let's share some self-measures to help our listeners feel less sick when they're struggling with anxiety.
Working on lowering your anxiety baseline is the first thing. Anxiety can run at different levels, and sometimes we look okay, we're functioning, we're doing our stuff, but inside we're anxious and we're suffering, and that might be affecting our digestive system. Other times we just can't face anything when we're highly anxious, and sometimes we're mildly anxious and we might have a mildly upset digestive system. So there's different levels of anxiety we might be experiencing, and it might be having different levels of impact on our stomach. If your anxiety is making you actually feel sick, the chances are it's running quite high. And one of the things that really, really helps with that is EFT tapping. And there are 2 points in particular that help with an anxious stomach. They help with anxiety in general, but also feelings of, anxiety in your stomach and feelings of nausea. And one is the EFT tapping point, which is located directly under your eye. So in line with your pupil, when you're looking ahead, if you tap on that point nice and steadily while taking deep breaths, that's on the stomach meridian, and it really calms the stomach energy down. The other one that I find particularly helpful is the point located on the side of the body under the arm. That point's really good for helping you feel grounded and settled back in your body. If you're feeling faint or lightheaded, that can really help. And these points help switch off the fight or flight and get us back into a calmer state where our digestive system can unclench and start working normally again.
I had a bout with a little bit of dizziness last week, and the underarm tapping helped me so much, and I want to thank you for reminding me that that was the point to help me, because it was such an odd feeling, and it isn't something that I've dealt with a lot, and I was incredibly grateful to do that tapping and to rest and then to have that pass, because that symptom can cause more anxiety if you're not on top of it by tapping and doing what your body needs to come back to that baseline.
Yeah, I think feeling lightheaded and faint, feeling sick, those are some of the most anxiety-inducing symptoms. That they feel like there's a loss of control in the body. So if you're traveling or you're away from home or trying to deal with something around people, those symptoms for me are really preoccupying, really uncomfortable. So having something that you can do to help settle them on the spot is a huge help. And it also helps the mind know that you've got something you can do and that you can get it under control.
And we have a lot more information available if you're interested in learning EFT tapping. You can just visit our website at anxietyslayer.com/EFT, and there's a bunch more information there for you.
Yeah, again, learn EFT. It's really super effective. We've both just shared how we're using it every day. It's really, really valuable. And also just tapping through the EFT sequence to get your base line anxiety down, that can help your digestive system and help feelings of sickness greatly.
And please remember too that anxiety recovery takes persistence. But if you keep applying this information, if you keep applying the tools and resources that we share here with you, you will definitely get yourself to a much better place.
That's one of the hardest challenges for overcoming anxiety, is to not stick at something you've decided to try. So even if you need to get a calendar and try a breathing technique, try EFT tapping and just put a big green tick or whatever color you like, a flower, whatever you like, fill in a box on the calendar every day and just commit to not breaking the chain for a month. Just try something every day. A couple of rounds of EFT tapping using the calm point, which we frequently talk about, or we've just launched our free Anxiety Slayer starter course. Download that. It's full of stuff to try. Try something every day. Tick on your calendar and don't break the chain. Just commit and just see as an experiment. Reserve judgment until the end of a month of trying something every day, and you will experience a huge difference.
I think something else to bring forward that's important is if anxiety is telling you all of this doesn't work for you, please don't listen, because it will work. Anxiety, or our minds, I should say, like to fool us, like to think that our mind is in control. But that's not the case. Don't listen and keep trying. There are things that you can do, like learning the long exhale, which we've talked about quite a bit on Anxiety Slayer. Keeping hydrated is really important with warm, anxiety-reducing teas. And if you take frequent tiny sips, it's not enough to induce sickness. So you're still supporting yourself and doing what you need to do for your body. Some of the teas that Ananga and I both enjoy very much for calming sickness and anxiety are lemon and ginger tea, the Pukka Relax tea, which is so yummy with chamomile, fennel, and oat tops, peppermint tea or fennel tea. These are all excellent teas. And Ananga, you have a stomach settling tea that you like to make as well, don't you?
Yeah, I like to use fennel, mint, and ginger. You can buy the tea bags in a health store and combine them yourself. I like to mess around with my teas. or you can just get, from the grocery section, grocery aisle where they sell herbs and spices, some fennel seeds, and you can just blend a teaspoon of crushed fennel seeds, put them on the countertop with a rolling pin and just roll over them, or side of a jam jar, super easy. just bruise them up a little bit, crush them a little bit before you infuse them, and then they give off their healing oils more easily into hot water. So a teaspoon of crushed fennel seeds, some fresh mint, or if you don't have access to fresh mint, half a tablespoon of dried mint leaves. I like to grow some mint on my doorstep, so you could just pick a couple of sprigs of that. Or a mint tea bag and just add some fennel in with it, and a couple of slices of fresh ginger root. And that's really good to sip between meals if you have an upset stomach. One of the first things we say when we feel sick is, I can't eat or drink anything, I feel too sick. And that's really not going to help the situation. So as you said, Shan, really important to keep hydrated, make a flask of something like this tea, and just have a sip every few minutes, just a sip, a sip. A sip isn't enough to make you throw up, and it is enough as it accumulates over time to help you keep hydrated and settle your stomach.
I'm so glad that we came together to talk about this subject today, and hope that all of our listeners are feeling supported and have some more tools in your toolbox to help you feel better when anxiety makes you feel sick. As we wrap today, I want to invite you all to check out our brand new Anxiety Slayer Starter Kit. This is a totally free course and includes a guided EFT tapping session, breathing practice, and a whole lot more. And you can get your free course at anxietyslayer.teachable.com. Get everything you need to start slaying your anxiety today. Visit anxietyslayer.teachable.com to claim our free Anxiety Slayer Starter Course. You get 4 guided sessions, including an EFT tapping session, guided breathing practice, and special module on overcoming the fear of anxiety. Don't just listen to the Anxiety Slayer podcast. Become an Anxiety Slayer. Claim your free Anxiety Slayer Starter Course at anxietyslayer.teachable.com.